All right, y'all, we back with another reaction right here on ABP Reactions. And right now, Klay Thompson and Meg Thee Stallion have parted ways and called it quits on their celebrity relationship, man. What happened? What went wrong? Let's find out.
Now, some of you guys might have seen what's been going on with Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson, a chart-topping rapper and a 4-time NBA champion who, from the outside, seemed like they were doing their thing. And now, all of a sudden, it's unraveling in public. At first glance, this looks like just another celebrity situation. But the way this played out, and more importantly, the way people are reacting to it, is what actually caught my attention. Yesterday, Megan Thee Stallion posted on an Instagram story, basically confirming that they're done, calling it quits, and speaking on things like cheating, feeling played, and even questioning whether he could be monogamous. And she even said something along the lines of, "You have me around your whole family, playing house, and now you don't know if you can be monogamous?" So clearly this wasn't just some casual situation, at least from her perspective. I'm not going to sit here and act like I was following this relationship like that. I wasn't at all.
Right.
This is one of those things that just popped up on my timeline. But it made me realize something about how we look at relationships.
What the hell is this on his forehead right here? Is that a sticker?
Today. Now, for those who don't really follow this kind of stuff, understandable. Meg and Klay had actually been together for a while, close to a year. And from the outside, it looked real serious. Public appearances, social media posts,
PR stunt,
showing each other off. Even talking about being generally happy in the relationship, which is exactly why something like this ends up hitting the internet the way it does. Because one thing that might surprise a lot of people is that even in 2026, people still look at celebrity relationships as a reference point for their own lives. And that's always been very strange to me, especially when we all know social media is basically a highlight reel, a curated version of real life, but that's still how people engage with it. And Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson were no different. Now with this situation specifically, a lot of the reaction you're seeing is coming from people who were actually following the relationship closely. People who saw the posts, the moments, and built a perception off of that. Some of them you might have probably seen as well. A clip of them together, her cooking for him, spending time with his family, even things like him naming a boat after her. How romantic. And on the surface, that looks like something real, but this is where it gets interesting. Because a lot of those moments that people are reacting to right now were never obviously the full picture. That was just what they were choosing to show. And I think a lot of people understand that on a surface level, but don't actually apply it in real time and don't digest it in that way. That's where the disconnect comes in. Because once something is public like that, it stops being just a relationship. It starts becoming something people consume, react to, and even project onto. And this is kind of when we get into the PR side of things. Because from the outside, you're not actually seeing the relationship, you're seeing what's being shown to you. And that doesn't necessarily mean the whole situation is fake, it's just selective. It's the good moments, the highlights, the parts that make sense to share publicly.
Right, make it look good. Make it look good as possible. Make it look like they're all happy, everybody's cool. I don't know, man. It's something about Meg, though. She give off like that ghetto, like she get drunk and be annoying as fuck. I don't know. It's a video surfacing right now on Instagram when they like at a show and she's like clapping and Klay face is just sitting there like, oh my God, I hate this bitch. And she just loud and yelling in his ear. I'm like, oh my God. Y'all probably seen it on Instagram. It's surfacing around today.
I mean, as far as I know, nobody's posting arguments, nobody's posting confusion. And that's, of course, normal in a normal relationship. Everyone has those moments, the tension, the misunderstanding, and then eventually making up. But over time, people start building this perception of something that feels complete, when really they're only seeing pieces of it. And I think that's where a lot of the reaction to this situation is coming from, because when something like this happens, it feels like it came out of nowhere. But the truth is, the buildup just wasn't visible. Just because something looks a certain way publicly doesn't mean that's what it actually is behind the scenes. A lot of times, it's not. But we still react to it like we have the full story. We comment on it, we form opinions, sometimes even take sides, all based on something we only saw pieces of. And here's the thing about these situations, right? A lot of people don't just watch. They attach themselves to the fairy tale, the edited, the handpicked version of what's being shown. And we've seen this before. You'll have these couples online posting together, laughing, making content, looking perfect from the outside. And then later on, you find out that things were completely different behind the scenes. So when the result of all that comes out, it feels shocking to the public. But for the people actually in it, it's usually been building up for a while. And a lot of times you hear from people who are close to it. They'll tell you that they could see things starting to fall apart way before the public ever did. And this is kind of when we get a little deeper. Because when it comes to someone like Megan Thee Stallion, you're not just looking at a person. You're looking at an image, a persona, a certain mindset that's being presented and sold to the world. Even in her music, she talks about confidence, knowing your worth, not settling, the whole never chase, let him chase you type of energy.
Hey, fellas, let me ask y'all a real question, man. What does it say to you when the girl that you think a nigga would give up everything for, right? A Cardi B, right? Cardi B, top of the world, sold out tours, big songs, all over the radio, super celebrity, whatever, and still gets cheated on. Meg Thee Stallion, top of the world, top of the game, household name when it comes to the female rap scene. Everybody knows her. Everybody loves her. Chart topper. Still get cheated on. And the list goes on and on and on and on. But what does that say to y'all? Like, this be the woman who niggas be looking at like, damn, nigga, I would wife this bitch. It lets you know, man. Be happy with the one you got, man. Be happy with the one you got. Because even the baddest bitch that you think is the baddest bitch in the world gets cheated on, man. So something ain't right. Something ain't. Be happy with the one you love, man. Because you would think I'm with a bitch that got millions. She popping, she booming. But imagine what her ego is like. Probably through the fucking roof. And probably want to control your ass. Want you to kiss her ass. Probably a nagging, annoying as fuck. Who knows? Because all these niggas just cheat. Stephon Diggs had Cardi B. Cardi B left Offset because he was cheating and went with Stephon Diggs. And guess what he did? He cheated on her and had babies on her. 4 to 5 babies on her ass. So what does that tell you? Damn.
And while that sounds good, it can easily turn into a mindset where relationships become more about control than connection. And that's something she talks about in her music a lot, always being in control. Now, there's nothing wrong with confidence in itself, but over time, that kind of messaging usually turns into something people don't just listen to. They start to internalize it. And when you internalize something and you don't have the context needed, especially if the person internalizing it has been through some, let's say, traumatic things themselves. So now it's not just entertainment anymore. It becomes something people relate to, something people attach their own experiences to. And this does actually shape how people think about relationships. So now we go from a real life situation to something people are interpreting through their own experiences and beliefs. And then here we have a situation like this where it stops being just about these two people and it turns into something bigger in the minds of everyone who's watching. Now with Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson specifically, their relationship was very public, like a lot of other celebrity relationships. She was documenting a lot of experiences they were having, the places they went, the things they were doing together. All of it was being shared in a very specific sequence. So for someone watching from the outside, it doesn't feel like updates. It starts to feel like an unfolding story.
Look at this shit. Everything is on camera. Like, who the fuck wants a relationship where everything we do is on camera? Like, why? Why do everything got to be on camera? And that's what I'm saying. I felt like she was using this relationship to shake the whole Tory shit. Like, to keep Klay Thompson in the light and keep that whole Megan Tory shit out the light. Because why are you posting this nigga every fucking single thing y'all do?
A progression, something you're following in real time. And so many people get invested in something like that. And that leads to them going from someone who's observant to now they're emotionally involved in how things play out. You know how people always say comparison is the thief of joy? Well, what happens when you're constantly watching something like this is you start measuring your own life against it. Now you're not just watching anymore. You're subconsciously trying to mirror what you're seeing, the way you think a relationship should look, the way you think it should feel, even how you think people should act in it. And that's where things start to get distorted, because now you're not building something based on what's really going on between you and this other person. You're building it based on an edited version of someone else's life. And that's kind of weird. And this is where it starts to affect people in a real way, because a lot of people, without even realizing, end up competing with the version of a relationship their partner has in their head. Now what's actually happening between them, but expectations shaped by what they've seen online. And instead of two people just figuring things out together, you've got outside influences quietly setting the standard. I guess for some people that might look like thinking a relationship always has to feel exciting, always feel perfect, always be validated publicly. For others, it might show up as unrealistic expectations about attention, control, or how someone should act. And when real life doesn't match that, it creates this feeling like something is missing. Because now you're not just dealing with each other, you're dealing with an idea of what things are supposed to be. I think we've all heard the saying, the grass is not greener on the other side, it's greener where you water it. But I think the part that stands out to me the most in situations like this is how many people it actually speaks to. Because here's the thing, this is not just about these two right here. Because there are real people watching this, comparing their own lives, questioning their own relationships.
Do y'all do that? Do y'all look at celebrity relationships and feel like, I wish that was me and my woman? I wish our life was like that. Is that a thing for you? Because me personally, I don't look at none of these celebrities and be like, oh, I wish me and my girl was like that. You know what I mean? Hey, salute to what y'all doing. Salute to what y'all got going. But you know what I mean? Our story is our story. Y'all story is y'all story, man. But it's like, damn, like who really, I can see a lot of women like, oh, you know, that's just females. Oh, I want a wedding like that. That was nice. Look at all those roses she got. I would love those roses. I remember, who was it that got Kim Kardashian all them goddamn roses? It was like the whole hallway in her house, the goddamn whole room. Was it fucking Kanye probably, or the nigga after Kanye? Whatever. And I remember a lot of girls was posting that. Like mood and all that shit. Like they wanted all them roses. And I'm like, let's be real. What the fuck is a million roses gonna do in your house? Like women be like, oh, I want the flowers. They're so pretty. Who the fuck gonna put, what you gonna do with a million roses? Or you know what I mean? Like for what? Bitch, you ain't even washed the clothes upstairs. You got a dirty clothes hamper full of dirty clothes in your goddamn room. You don't even take care of that. Who gonna take care of all these goddamn flowers in your house? Bitch, get it together.
Based on something they don't fully understand. And that to me is very concerning. Not because people are interested in it, but because some people are generally modeling their expectations, their mindset, even their behavior off of people they don't even actually know. And it just makes you think, if that's how we're forming our views on relationships, what does that actually lead to long term? Because at the end of the day, no matter how successful someone is, no matter how good something looks from the outside, you still don't know what it actually feels like behind the scenes. And I think another layer to this is the reality of the kind of world these people are operating in. Because when you're dealing with people at this level, high visibility, constant attention, unlimited options, it's a very different environment than what most people are used to. And I don't think people always factor that in when they're watching these relationships. Because from the outside, it looks normal. But what that lifestyle is actually like is a completely different story. And that doesn't excuse anything, but it does explain why things don't always play out the way people expect them to. And one reaction you see in situations like this is people trying to make sense of it on a surface level. You're even seeing a lot of women ask things like, how could this happen? You know, how could he cheat on someone like Megan Thee Stallion?
What does that mean? Someone like Megan Thee Stallion. Let's really break down what that means. I mean, we ain't gonna go over it. Y'all can just, what does that mean to you? Someone like Megan Thee Stallion. How could you cheat on someone like, what is someone like Megan Thee Stallion? What makes her uncheatable? Like she shouldn't be cheated on? What do you really know about these people to say something like that? You know what I mean? Why would he cheat on a Megan Thee Stallion? Why would he be with Megan Thee Stallion? You know what I mean? We could look at it that way too. Like, why would you be with her? Hey man, you know, perception. A lot of women, you know, because it's a female. They side with that. They side with the whole love thing. They're giving off the perception that there's love there, and it looks so perfect and online. It looks like they're happy, and then he had to fuck it up and go cheat. What made him go cheat? Let's talk about that. What made him go cheat? You know what I mean? What wasn't she doing? Or was he ready to go? And this is, hey, look, bitch, I can't take it no more. You don't know how to take, no. I'm trying to tell you I don't want to be with you no more, but in your head, you want to keep this image going online. I'm out of here. Now you gotta spin on me like I cheated on you. All right, for sure.
Now that's based on the idea that how someone looks or how good something seems on the outside should determine how someone gets treated. But that's not how it actually plays out, because things like infidelity don't come down to appearances. They come down to the person making that decision, their values, their discipline or lack of, who they are when nobody's watching, not the person on the receiving end of it. And I think that's another disconnect. People try to explain something complex using surface level logic, because the truth is, if someone is going to cheat, that decision was already in them to make. It's not something you can control or prevent by being better in some way, especially just by looking better. Right. And that's the thing in situations like this, you don't actually know what the fuck is going on behind the scenes. You don't know what someone is dealing with or who they are when the world is not watching.
Right.
Let's just put it like this. You don't really know what these people are on behind closed doors.
Right.
And that's exactly why trying to piece together a full story based on what you see online will almost always lead you to the wrong conclusion. Overall, I think situations like this expose something bigger, because at the end of the day, I don't really know the details of their personal relationship, nor do I actually care. That's not what this video was about. This is more about the way people interpret, react to, and internalize what they see online. Because we're in a time now where people aren't just watching anymore. They're literally comparing, they're projecting.
They're invested.
And in a lot of cases, even shaping their own lives around things they don't fully understand or even know. And I think that's where things start to feel off. Not just with situations like this, but with how social media is starting to shape the way people approach and see relationships in general. That's just my perspective, though. If you made it this far, drop a like on this video and subscribe if you're new here. My name is Blackie Speaks. Nice.
Nice, man. Okay. Blackie Speaks. Blackie Speaks. Yeah, man. Social media, bro. People only post the highlights. They only post the highs. They don't post the lows. Now, could you imagine social media if people posted everything? Not just their good days, but their bad days. Just imagine what social media would be like if people honestly let you behind the curtain of their life and showed you what was really going on. You know what I mean? Being behind on bills, not having enough money to pay for this, not having enough money to pay for that. Kids ain't got nothing to eat in the fridge. Your baby daddy done left you. Your husband done cheated on you. You know what I mean? This person, all kind of bad shit going on. What if people actually showed that? Because y'all see when celebrities cry on the internet, how the comments drag them. Get your ass off the internet crying. You don't need to be on here crying, blah, blah, blah. It's like they make it to where you can't be vulnerable on the internet. And if you are vulnerable on the internet, you look like a fucking nerd or you look soft. So with a relationship, who wants to show the lows of their relationship? Everybody wants to show the highs. Us going out to eat a nice ass dinner, us dressed up, us having fun, us laughing, us clowning. But what about the arguments? What about the harsh shit we say to each other when we argue? Bitch, I don't want to be with you. Fuck you, bitch. I should go fuck your homegirls. Man, fuck you, little dick nigga. You show all that. Let the world see what's really going on behind that curtain with this relationship, since y'all want to put so much on the goddamn internet. But that will never happen, and we will never see what it's really like, because that's not what they want us to see, man. You feel me? So what do you do in a situation like this? Are you invested in these celebrity relationships? I'm not. I don't give a flying fuck. I don't be thinking none of them gonna last in today's time, because it's too much. When you booming right now in 2026, when you got a bag, you a celebrity, bitches think you look good, you think you finna stop all that when you got millions of dollars for one woman? Hell no. Hell no. What? Bitch, what? Hey, man, I'm just saying, if I'm out here and I'm touching a bag and I'm going to see the city playing a sport and I'm going to the club after each city and bad bitches on me lining up to fuck with me, I'm giving in. I'm giving in. Not saying me personally right now. I'm just saying if I'm like, the celebrity basketball players. That's what I'm saying. Not me. Oh, no. I love my woman. No. I would never. But let me know about you. What would you do? Right now, fellas, right now. If you just so happen that whatever you do in life, if it just so happened to take off today, boom. And then in the next week, you worth $10 million. All the women know you. All the women are posting you on social media. Oh, he's my whatever, MC, what they call it, Man Crush Mondays. He's my whatever, hard eyes hitting you in the DM. Could you handle that? And ladies, vice versa. Could you handle that type of attention? Enough to the point where you will be faithful still to your companion. Could you handle that? Damn. $10 million. Every bitch in the world wants you. Fellas, what you doing? Ladies, $10 million. Every nigga in the world wants you. Celebrities. The celebrity crush you probably got now, he's a fan and he wants to take you out. What you doing? Let me know in the comment section. I'm going to give y'all 2 seconds to smash the like. And as always, get ready for the next reaction.